So hello and welcome to Cat Chat. I am Meredith Smith and I'm actually coming to you from the new and improved place where we're going to be shooting Cat Chat. This is provided by the Coulter Faculty Center, and it's their nicest facility that they have for large conferences and such, and I feel very lucky to be here. And so I just want to say thank you to the Coulter Faculty Center for extending the offer to use their space instead of being obscured by plants and such. So thank you. So of course last night was the second of 3 presidential debates. I of course have the whole transcript right here. As you can see, it's very thick, and as you can see, I took out a chunk of it because I'm not going to go through all of that. Most of that is stuff that we've already gone over before, basically talking about the bailout and other functions that we've talked about in previous Cat Chats. This was a mock, or actually a town hall meeting style, which was predetermined questions that were presented by undecided voters. They weren't McCain or Obama supporters. They were just there to possibly figure out who they were going to vote for. So some of the questions come directly from the gallery, some of the questions come from the internet, and then at some point Tom Brokaw gets really annoyed and just starts asking the questions himself, which is really funny. The other thing that's really funny, if you weren't aware of this, there was a plain drinking game that was going on, and every time she said the word Maverick, you were supposed to take a shot. And I don't drink, but I could imagine you'd get really wasted on that. I suggest that we start another drinking game, and every time Senator McCain says, "My friends, take a shot," dude, we're all going to be wasted by the end of this presidential debate, because that is all he kept saying. We're going to go back to the theory of pathetic fallacy that we talked about in last Cat Chat, I believe, where it's the pulling on the heartstrings of America, and I'm going to just tell you whatever I want to say, but you're going to believe it because I've got you emotionally. Because both of them actually do that. For the very first time, Obama does it, whereas this has been a modus operandum for the McCain train. So let's go ahead and get started on the first question. And this question did come from a member of the gallery, and it reads, "The economy on a downturn, and retirement and older citizens are workers losing their incomes. What's the fastest, most positive solution to bail these people out of the economic ruin?" And Obama was the first to give an answer. Again, these answers are paraphrased. I'm not going to read 3 pages of an answer, just so you know. This is the second time Obama has said this. I think everybody knows now we are in the worst financial crisis since the Great Depression. And I believe that this is a final verdict on the failed economy policies of the last 8 years, strongly promoted by President Bush and supported by Senator McCain. Now, step 1 was the rescue package that was passed last week. And then he goes on to talk about the rescue package. I'm going to skip over that. And in fact, we just found out that AIG, an insurance company that we just bailed out just a week after getting help, went on a $400,000 junket. And I'll tell you what, the Treasury should demand that money back, and those executives should be fired. But that's just step 1. The middle class needs a rescue package, and that means tax cuts for the middle class. It means help for homeowners so that they can stay in their homes. It means that we are helping state and local governments set up road projects and bridge projects that keep people in their jobs. And then the long term, we've got to fix our healthcare system. We've got to fix our energy system that is putting such an enormous burden on our families. And then Brokaw then directs the question to Senator McCain. "Thank you for your question. You go right to the heart of America's worries. Americans are angry, they're upset, they're a little fearful. It's our job to fix that problem. Now I have a plan to fix this problem, and it's going to do with energy independence. We've got to stop spending $700 billion a year in countries that don't like us very much. We have to keep Americans' taxes low. Let's not raise taxes on anybody. You know that home values of retirees continue to decline, and people are no longer able to afford their mortgage payments. As President of the United States, I would order the Secretary of Treasury to immediately buy up bad home loan mortgages in America, renegotiate them at a new value of those homes, at a diminished value of those homes, and let the people be able to make those payments and stay in their homes. It's expensive, yes. I know how to do that, my friends, and that's my proposal. It's not Senator Obama's proposal, it's not President Bush's proposal, but I know how to get Americans working again, restore our economy, and take care of working Americans. Thank you. Okay, so again, we're going to go over both responses. So what Obama says is that they both say kind of the same thing about homeowners, and that's a major issue, which is a major issue. I mean, that's why we're in the economic crisis that we're in. It's because of the blow up of the subprime market, which we've talked about before, so hopefully you've been watching and I don't need to go over that. So what Obama says is that, you know, we've got to work on just making sure that this actually goes through and is followed through. He goes back to this later on, and we're not going to go over that because it's just too time consuming, but he mentions it a second time about how important it is to reassure the taxpayers that we're investing into this bailout. We get our money back. The one thing that he said that is really funny is he talks about the bridge projects and road projects, which is exactly what Roosevelt did in the Great Depression, which I think was really smart of him to pull that out. How many people picked up on that, I don't know, but that's exactly how we got the beautiful bridges that we've got here in Western North Carolina. In Asheville alone, I live in a beautiful area because of the Parkway, and we have all these beautiful bridges that we go underneath, and it's because of Roosevelt, and so that was kind of like a little shout out to him. Senator McCain says he has a plan, and then he never tells us what the plan is. This again is a reoccurring theme within the McCain camp. They go on to say I have a plan, but that plan never comes out, other than he kind of talks around the issues. And then what he does say is he talks about buying up the home mortgages and then renegotiating them at a diminished value so that people can make their payments. I think that's a brilliant idea, but this goes against everything he goes on to say about the government intruding into Americans' lives. Of course, I hope you know this, Republicans are about very small government, big military, and Democrats generally, it's the opposite of that, very big government, very small military. So for him to sit here and say, I want the government to take over home loans, it's kind of stepping out of the box of a normal Republican. And in some ways I do think that's a really positive thing. I think that it's not fair that people were duped into buying a house that was $300,000 when really it's only worth $100,000. So that is good. But like I said, let's start the drinking game. So far we've had to take 2 shots, and we're only going to do like 3 questions. So I would be on the floor already. I'm a lightweight. Okay, so let's go on to the next question. Senator Obama, time for discussion. I'm going to begin with you. Are you saying that Mr. Clark was the gallery member, and other members of American television audience, and that our American economy is going to get much worse before it gets better? Should they be prepared for that? Senator Obama says, no, I'm confident about America's economy, but we are going to have some leadership from Washington that not only sets out much better regulations for the financial system, but most importantly, we're going to have to help out